So like so many things happen with my brain while I'm hanging out in the shower, right? So I was thinking about this yesterday. Um, what if I make the list, right? Not me, but let's just say, right? Make the list. There's 300, right? 300 phone numbers, names, addresses, and all that. And then you walk up instead of calling. I mean, you could do it either way, but you get to the house, right? Let's say you have your niece make you a list of 300, right? And then you go to the houses, and then you say, "Hey, Mrs. Bush," and she's like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Barbara Bush, my name is Joe. I have this thing. You're in the Hale area. Did you know that?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I know that it held. Well, have you had anybody check your roof yet?" So you can use that as like I work with X, and I am out here just checking roofs, and you're on my list. And then you can show them the list. Well, where'd you get the list? I don't know. It came off the internet. Boom, done. And then the thing about two, let's say you got a really nice letter made out, right? And the letter was real nicely read, like you took your time. And then at the top of the letter it said, "Dear," the person's name, and then you put a little, and then you handed that to them at the door, or if they're not home, instead of leaving these are just ideas, guys. Like, you can try however you want to do it, but if you walk up to the house, here's the thing. When I use Spodio, I always get their name, and then I always put it in, and then 2 or 3 weeks or months or years later, when I knock on their door again, I know their name, and they're like, "But do you remember me? You're the roof guy that checked my roof, and my roof wasn't ready." Whatever. So just think about what you could do with those phone numbers, those leads, and you can knock on the houses in between, but if you know their name, that sort of changes the game. It makes you look a little tiny bit different, and it might be a little bit harder on the front end, but on the back end, think about it. Yeah, like it. It's completely set up so you can bamboozle them, sort of, and you can take their name, you could put it in Spodio, and then you could sit there and you could have a conversation with them and show them the hell map. It just seems more professional, almost like how did you get my? Well, there is this cool thing called the internet. Here you go. So I was talking to this one girl, right, and she gave me her phone number, and I've got an Android, right? I've got a S9, and I use what is it called? Truecaller, right? And Truecaller, when I copy their phone number and then I paste it, it automatically tells me their name. So, and she's like, "How do you know my name?" And I'm like, "Well, back in like 1988, there was this really cool thing that came out called what was it called? What was that thing? Caller ID. Oh, caller ID. And when caller ID came out, people knew who was calling them. And then all you people out there that have iPhones, y'all don't have caller ID? That's like, really, seriously. The twirly cords came off the wall real long. Your mom would be like just pulling. She would be making macaroni and cheese on the other side of the entire universe, with the cord all the way stretched. And didn't she have caller ID? It's crazy, right? So to say something like that, where'd you get the number? It's like caller ID. Like, the internet automatically gives us that information. So I'm going through the neighborhood and I'm checking. Word it smart. Don't be an idiot. you know, and you have to have tact if you're going door to door, if you're banging it out like that. But the whole thing is if you've got somebody that's on Hail Recon and they're finding the Hail area, I get all these leads, right? And I put them in Next Storm because whoever is getting me these leads, um, especially home advisor leads, it's horrible. It's horrible because, like, I don't even know. There's so many houses in purple. And in purple and Spadio, the way that I made it, it's Next Storm, So the next storm that comes through, I'm going to clean up because I'm going to have everybody's name. It's going to be great. But to drive all the way out there and to do all that when, somebody could actually use Hail Recon, find the houses in that, give me a list, and then have me go at that list. So crazy. So science fiction. So much better.